He has been the Chief of Strategy for Arthur D. Little and also worked in Tata Sons before. He is widely respected across government as well as business community and sought after for his impartial dealings and looking at issues with great objectivity. May I invite Mr. Maira now? Please give me a round of applause. And I'm requesting Mr. Maira to do a click and launch the logo and the website for our foundation and the name too. Mr. Maira. We are called the Reservoir Innovation Foundation. Many names were thought about, and one of the things that we liked about this name was it rhymes with the reservoir. It has research in terms of res, and there's a water inside there. It also talks about recycling and all that about the thing. There are many dots include all the projects and all the ideas and all the innovations that are going to come into this initiative. And there's a tree of life inside the module. So a lot of thought has been put behind this. And it's been launched with the auspicious hands of Mr. Maira. Thank you, Mr. Maira. May I request him to say a few words? Thank you.
Well, thank you very much for inviting me to press the button to launch something which is very special and important for us in India. I'd like to begin by, ladies and gentlemen, thanking and congratulating Mr. Little for being the inspiration, Mr. Arun and Pankaj and others for providing the muscle and support, and Sanmit, the ideas and intellectual support whereby this has come about. It's been mentioned that I started my working life with the Tatas, and I was reminded of my early years in the 1960s. It's sort of dating me, but that's when I started to work with the Tatas. And one of my first, I joined the Tata Administrative Service. So they used to, like the Indian Administrative Service, take young people and give them large responsibilities. One of my first responsibilities was to be general manager of the new project which Tatas were creating outside Pune, in Pimpri, the place where now Tatas produces the nano car, or designed and produced the nano car. But at that time, the government of Maharashtra gave us a land which no one wanted, many miles outside Pune. It was rock, 800 acres of rocky land without a bush on it. And our chairman, Sumant Mugankar, great visionary, said, here we will create an enterprise that all who work on it shall be proud of, and the country shall be proud of too. And to produce that enterprise that we shall all be proud of, we need people. And so we India, other countries, who came and checked out and said there is no water under this land. So we had to take water that would flow off our own land, and fortunately the topography was such that if we put a little dam at one end, a fair amount of water over a couple of seasons would accumulate behind the dam to create a lake, and we could draw water from the lake to feed these 100,000 trees that we were growing. So there was a lake, and we put fish in the lake, and there were trees growing, small trees. And the factory was coming up, and the factory grew. And a few years had passed, and I was woken up one night by our security people and said the villagers have stormed the factory gates because some buffaloes have died in a little stream beyond the factory. And they say that the effluent from the electroplating plant of the factory has poisoned their cattle, and they're storming the factory. So you got to come and sort this out. So anyway, we guaranteed to them compensation completely, whatever they wanted. And then the next morning, when the chairman of the company heard about this, he said, what we are going to do now is we are going to make sure that all the factory effluents shall be discharged into our own lake. They will not go outside the factory. And in that lake there are the fish, and we, the officers, will every week eat the fish. So you're going to have a self-complete system where you're going to be the victims, if you will, of your own pollution. And so, of course, we ensured that we developed completely fail-safe systems for treating the water and the effluents that went out into our lake, in which there were these fish, which we would eat. And I must say, we all grew very healthy because we looked after the